So we got a new Eddie Vedder song. Lovely little tune, just an acoustic instrumental, and we're going to need to put our guitar into drop D, so it just means tuning the low E string all the way down to D, and everything else is just in standard. So this just starts off with a D power chord, which is 5th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the D string, and then you have the open bottom 6th string, which is now tuned to D, and then you also have the open G string, and you just run up those four notes, and then back, and you do it twice. What that little passage is you just start on the A string, so your fingers don't move. So it's A, D, A string, D string, back to the A string, and then G, D, A string. And you move that whole shape all the way down so your index finger is on the 2nd fret. And you play the exact sort of string sequence as you did on the first chord. So it's 6 strings just running up from the 6th all the way up to the 3rd string and then back to the 5th string. And then you go up to a C chord. It's a little different, you just do a double pick on the top G string. And that's kind of the whole phrase for the first half of it. And then we walk into just a regular D chord. So we're just playing the 2nd fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B string, and everything else is open. We're not hitting the top E string, so that B string, that's our highest note. And he's kind of doing like this little hammer-on motif on the open G string to the 2nd fret. And this lovely little change. Ooh. Which is just an open D string. So we're just taking this shape, it's very Eddie Vedder, just taking these shapes and just moving them around the neck. So we're taking that D5 chord shape and we're just moving up so that our index finger is on the 5th fret, and then you have your ring finger on the 6th fret, and then the open E string. If you're interested, that is a D minor 9. The D minor 9 is just, you're walking up to the top, you're kind of doing it twice. And a double pick on that bass. And you go to this, like a B minor. A couple ways of looking at this, you can either look at it as a B minor 7. Something like that, and then you've got this little hammer on. Back to that low D string. Just hammer on the open A string up to the 2nd fret. Open D, open G. That's kind of it. He repeats it a few times. There's a slight few variations on that little bit when he goes into that D, that first D chord, that big one. I would say use your ears, figure out where the little parts go and where everything goes. But what I will say is this is a really good introduction to hybrid picking, or picking with your pick and fingers, if you've not done it before. So a few pointers on that. I would say use your pick and your fingers rather than using your thumb and your fingers, only because you've got a definite chord strum that is very... The way that I would pick the intro is I'm literally using all fingers. So I'm using my pick, middle, ring finger and pinky. Pinky's notorious for not doing what it's told, but if you keep your hand kind of in like a claw, rather than having your fingers straight, you can kind of get your fingers to do what you're telling them. And then the same motif for when you slide down to the B. So at the end of the C chord, in the second time round, or third and fourth time round, there's a little the motif changes slightly. So you're just doing like a little second fret on the G string, pull off to open G, second fret on the D, and then pull off to open D. That kind of thing. If you want, you can leave your fingers on to do that motif, or if you want, you can just take your fingers off and use your index finger to that little, and that sets you nicely up for the D chord. It's up to you, it's whatever you feel more comfortable with. I generally, on that C bit, on that C chord, I kind of take my hand away from the C, ready for the D. But it's up to you. So that's kind of it, there's not much to it. We are expecting an album from him 2021, so there'll be a tab for this down on my Patreon page and on my website, so it's up to you. Go to either one of those to download it. This is a really cool little tune, and it's like I said, it's a really nice introduction to hybrid picking or picking fingers if you're not used to it. So it's really cool. I like it. It's a nice little tune. That is it. Yes, so if you found this a little bit useful, then please feel free to give this video a like, and if you haven't, feel free to subscribe to the channel. There's loads more stuff coming up, and there's a huge back catalogue, well, not a huge back catalogue, but there's a back catalogue that you can flick through, rifle through, and see if anything takes your fancy. So I will leave this here. I'll see you on the next video, whenever that may be, and I hope it's soon. Cool. Goodbye.